What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me. I was having some difficulties with getting the mic set up and all that. I can't hear myself through the headphones, so it's kind of weird, but I'll do it, whatever. So, yeah, man, I'm not really sure what's going to happen with the YouTube and what I'm going to do. I've been thinking about it a lot in the last few weeks about a lot of different ideas of how can I continue with this channel, because I already have so many videos, and of course there's a lot more things I want to do. I've been getting a lot of emails and inquiries about drawing videos and drawing series, and I might get into that for real. I do charcoal because I just like the contrast that charcoal gets, so I might dive into that. I've been doing a lot of big paintings, as you can see behind me somewhere. 20 by 20, 18 by 24. This whole wall over here in front of me is just full of 20 by 20s, 24 by 36. I'm running out of wall space, so I can't really do many more large paintings. So I think drawing is a good way to go. And just explore some different things. Maybe, this is one option. I'm not really sure. I do have some small panels. I can do more paintings and stuff, but I've been thinking a lot about what kind of videos and stuff, and I don't really want to reveal anything because I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So just know I have some interesting ideas, and I don't know when I'll be putting them out or making them, but I'm definitely thinking about it and working on stuff. I just wanted to kind of pop up, and yeah, I'm not going to quit. So I'm just been thinking about what do I want to say, because I have a whole platform for the whole world. I got a good following, 140,000 subscribers. I mean, it's been going really well. A lot of things happening. But the last few months, since like October or September, I don't know when I stopped making videos really, but I just had to take a break. I just had to really dive into my work and figure out what it is I wanted to do, what I wanted to paint, what I wanted to say, and kind of just find my purpose for painting and really figure out my style and all that stuff. Like not really figure out my style, but figure out what I wanted to say. And I started painting redwood trees and forest scenes and dappled light, and it all makes sense to me now. Looking back at everything I used to do, and just seeing where I am now, it's right where I want to be, I think. So it's been working out. It's pretty cool. So I mean, I don't really know what else to say really. I'm not going to make a super long video today, but I just wanted to check in with you guys because it's been so long, and I just I couldn't be silent for much longer. You know what I mean? So just wanted to check in and say, I'm alive. I'm working on stuff. I'm always thinking, and I got some interesting concepts. I just got to figure out how to approach them and what I want to do, because I really want to make. I've always been this way. I've always wanted to make different videos than everybody else in the art scene on YouTube. They all kind of do the same thing, and I'm part of that as well. I mean, I do the same, tutorial videos. Oh, paint this, paint that, draw this, draw that. Last summer I did the plein air videos, and I tried to kind of, there's other people out there doing plein air videos, but I tried to make mine different. I tried to have some visual stuff at the beginning, just kind of make it cool, make it something people looked forward to. And, they may not have turned out the best, but, it was a cool little series. And, something like that to me, it was cool to do. So I just want to, but I might do more like conceptual type of videos and more visually appealing videos and stuff with like deeper meaning in them. And I don't want to give too much away though, but just know I got some things planned. And yeah, drawing videos here. I'll show you guys right here. I have my girlfriend's grandmother was getting rid of a bunch of stuff, and she had this. I got a stack of drawing paper. This is nice, kind of like cardstock, but it's like drawing paper, and it's nice. You know, it's nice, really nice paper. And I'm thinking, man, you know what? I should get into drawing and just see how this paper is. It's a little smooth. I kind of like having a little bit of texture usually, but yeah, we'll see. There is a little bit of texture on there, but anyway, I got a whole stack of paper to work with this year. And like I said, I'm running out of wall space for my paintings. It's really been ridiculous just trying to find a place to hang all of them up. And because I've been painting larger, I've probably done about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, you know, close to 20 large paintings. And so it kind of got tough. I mean, the footprint of my apartment is 400, little over 400 square feet. I do have a loft. You can see the stairs right behind me here. So that adds like, it ends up being like 600 and something square feet, but the actual footprint is only 400 square feet. So I don't really have a ton of space in this apartment. We have a couch, coffee table. My girlfriend has a desk. I'm sitting on a dining room table. We have 2 bikes. I mean, there's a ton of, my art stuff's over in the corner. I mean, we're packed full in this little, like sardines in a little apartment. And me creating these big paintings is, all the wall space is taken up. So yeah, getting into drawing kind of just seems like a logical step. And I think it'll help me because I haven't been drawing as much as I should. And people want drawing videos, so that may be something I venture into anyway. But anyway, I want to catch up on you guys' comments here. Yeah, make a website, make a booking application for private lessons. Each lesson is 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. I wouldn't even mind doing 2 hours, you know what I mean? Or an hour and a half or something. But I get what you're saying. I mean, I just think there's a lot more you could learn in like 2 hours. You know, and it'll kind of feel like people are getting a deal for like 2 hours. I'm cool with giving away time like that and stuff. But you know, making it an option for 1 hour, 2 hour, stuff like that could be cool. I mean, I've thought about doing stuff like that. It's just like, do I really want to do that? Would people really, you know, is there much demand for it? I don't know. But I have thought about it. Or teach using Skype. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility too, for sure. I've always thought about all that stuff. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad everybody's happy that I'm back, and it's good to hear from everybody. It's been, hope everybody had a good, you know, good winter, basically. You know, winter's almost over here, at least where I am in California, so it's weird. Like, spring is kind of like, once the weather starts warming up, I come back to life, man. I get so motivated to do stuff, and then like through the summer, I'm just on it. I'm doing, you know, making videos, I'm doing things, I'm painting, I'm getting outside, I'm doing a lot of stuff. And then like once like fall starts coming around, I just kind of like I kind of like shut down and like it's not always the case, but it's kind of what happened last year. I kind of just got burnt out, and the negativity of YouTube got to me. You know, people that weren't really didn't really watch my videos all the time, and they haven't been around for a few years, and they just making negative comments on videos and stuff. And I really stopped checking the comments for a while. I don't even look at the comments on my videos anymore because it's just so there's so much negativity that people have, and it's like I don't even want any part of it. So like I don't even check the comments on my videos. Only like on my new videos. Like if I post up a new video, I'll read the comments for like the first few days. But any old video I put up or something, I don't look at the comments because too much negativity from me. And I just try to interact with people that I know, like that I've seen, and people that are nice and stuff, and give constructive criticism. Um, but Q&A. What do you mean by Q&A? Questions and answers? I mean, I'll do questions and answers right now. I got a little bit of time, 20 more minutes or so. So, I mean, if you have any questions, just ask me. I'm kind of just chatting today. It's just catching up with my YouTube following here, my 140,000 subscribers. Of course, I only have 29 people watching, but I know everybody's at work and just doing other things at work or in school or whatever. It's nice to see you back on YouTube, buddy. Thanks. I appreciate it. It's glad to be back. I'm not sure when I'll be making like videos consistently, but like I was saying, I got a lot of things planned and a lot of always thinking about things. Taking a break can be good occasionally. Plus, it was good for me. I stopped watching your videos and started painting more. Great stuff. Yeah, exactly. You know what happened? I stopped making videos and I started painting a lot more. That's just what happened, and that's kind of what I felt like I had to do. I really needed to like figure out how I paint and what I paint and why I paint it. You know what I mean? And it was great, man. I've learned a lot about myself and a lot about painting, and it gave me a lot of time to reflect on like YouTube, my social media, and just everything. Like it was just like, I did a juried show. I won an award of excellence. I didn't place like first or second or anything, but I got an award of excellence. There was 60 uh, artists that entered, and they only gave away 13 awards, and I got one award. It was my first juried show, so I was like, this is pretty sweet. So I learned a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. I got a long way to go, you know what I mean, to do like a solo gallery showing and all this stuff. But right now, I just couldn't continue like painting large right now because, like I said, my wall space is filled up. I can't even afford to buy frames for these things, so I can't even do a juried show. I got to wait till I can buy frames. It's just crazy, this whole art thing is crazy, and I've just been thinking a lot about kind of the business side of art, because that was something that I had to kind of like figure out, like, where do I buy frames? How do I buy frames? How do I frame these? Varnishing. I figured out how to varnish, all this stuff, and I've had a lot to think about being an artist nowadays. And I was just reading a book. This is kind of a tangent, so sorry. I'll get back to you guys' comments in a second. But I was reading this book that I'm gonna do a book review of, and I'm writing a blog about it right now. I started it yesterday, but I read this book and I was rereading through it yesterday, and really interesting part in here. I hope I can find it real quick, but it was about Sorolla, and he had a showing from Spain, but he had a showing in New York for the, I think it's the Hispanic Society of America, I believe. Yeah, but it says he did the where's it at? It says the exhibition was like 295 paintings or something. I don't know if they were all his. They make it sound in this book like they was all his paintings. 295 paintings. Actually, I take that back. It says right here that in January of 1909, the couple, him and his wife and his daughter, moved to New York with their two oldest children. Oh, that's a history. Never mind. Wait. Oh, yeah. And the exhibition, it threw me off because it said he had two kids and one of them was his same name. So the exhibition opened at the Gallery of the Hispanic Society of America with 356 paintings. And then it says here that the exhibition was eventually reduced to 200 paintings, I guess, wherever they were showing it. But here's the interesting part. They said that lines of people formed, and this is in New York in the winter, despite the cold, winds, ice, and snow, and even though the exhibition remained open from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. every day of the week. I mean, what does that happen nowadays? You know what I mean? Like that, it's not this. I feel like it's just not the same anymore, because people are so inundated with media, videos, and photography and paintings. I mean, painting isn't. It's sort of. I mean, to the art community, it's looked at the same. You know what I mean? We still like hold a value and respect to these paintings and stuff, but I don't know if there's that many people. And it said like, over the course of time, like, 100 something thousand people had seen it and all this stuff. Maybe in New York it's the same, but, and it said when he was in America, he ended up selling 195 paintings that year or just a few months or something. And it's like, that is not the same anymore. But of course, he was really high. He was a known artist, you know what I mean? So it makes sense. But anyway, tangent over. I'm just saying it's just not the same. We're not in that same era where you could just have people just waiting to see this exhibition, and it has so much demand, I guess. It's kind of a different thing. But I mean, I guess it depends on who you are. You got to have like a big name in the art world, I guess if Richard Schmid had a showing of over 200 paintings, I mean, maybe there would be a ton of people lined up. Or if Jeremy Lipking, he has a solo show coming up in March, and just next week down in LA somewhere. I mean, there could be a ton of people down there that want to see it. You never know. But I just thought that was an interesting point about the whole business and art world and all that. But anyway. Where was I? Let's see. Yeah, the thoughts on painting channel. Thoughts on painting channel. I've seen a few of his videos. He's a good artist, up and coming channel, that's for sure. Thoughts on painting. Check out that YouTube channel if you haven't. He does a lot of plein air videos and just shares his thoughts and opinions on things. That's a good channel for sure. And just watching his channel made me realize, like, wow, I could be, there's different things I could do with my channel and just approach videos and aspects and things a different way. So, yeah, it's always refreshing seeing someone else's channel. Why don't you just do live Q&A every few weeks on here so we can chat just like this? Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a plan. I could do that, no problem. I just had to take a break, you know what I mean, for a while and just figure things out for myself. But yeah, definitely. What is the blog called? It's my website. If you go to my website, it's Brandon hyphen. There's a hyphen and a dash. Brandon-Schaefer.com, and you just click on blog, and it's right there. I haven't posted the review of the book yet though, but I do have other posts on there and stuff. I'm trying to post more, like once a month at least, or twice a month. But it's tough to write stuff and make it actually good. You know, it takes a lot of effort, and to put nice pictures in there and stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of time. Um, but yeah, just check out my website. There's probably a link down below in the description to my website. There usually always is. Are you kidding? I'd love to see your exhibition. I bet people would. Don't let wealthy artists and famous artists put you off. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not, I used to, this is something I learned and I kind of just had to think about for a while. It's like, even a year ago or a year and 2 years ago, a lot of people know this about me, is that I wasn't really ready to get into galleries and stuff. I didn't really, for myself, I didn't have like a purpose for my art or like a reason why I was painting something. Like there was just no meaning behind a lot of my paintings. And I just felt like I wasn't ready to really put myself out there into like a public forum, even though it's online. You get more views online almost. But now, I'm working up. I've done 2 juried shows now. Um, my first one, I got an award, which is cool. Uh, so, but back to the point, what I learned is like I used to be, screw galleries. I don't need them. I'll just do it online and I'll make videos. I'll do this. And, that's kind of how I was planning it. But what I realized is I gotta kind of go. I kind of got to go both directions. I got to get out, do gallery showings, do things out in the public. Do we go to exhibitions, have gallery showings and juried shows, try to get into those, but also work the social media aspect and the online aspect and make videos and put out tutorials and have videos for sale that you could buy that are more in-depth tutorials, and I really go into depth about my materials, how I do things and things like that. So it never dawned on me. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it kind of did, but I was just kind of overwhelmed by it, I guess, about just doing both. Um, I don't have to be exclusively a YouTube artist, and I don't exclusively have to be just a gallery person. I can see like the famous artist Jeremy Lipking, and there's a bunch of other ones that aren't on YouTube, and they're not in this world. They're not in this kind of realm. They just do stuff in the public. They just, hardly ever show paintings on their social media. They show little close-ups and things, but they have gallery showings that you can go to. But, that it's kind of like if you live up in Maine on the East Coast or down in Florida, it's hard for you to come out and see Jeremy Lipking's paintings all the way in Southern California. You know what I mean? So I kind of see how the internet is very useful. You can show your paintings online. Um, it's kind of the art one instead of art being for the elitists, or the rich folk, that come to the thing, Anyway, just a little rant there. But that's just something I kind of realized, is that I need to just have a balance of both and try to be able to juggle both um, aspects of the art world. Make a Photoshop image that shows one of your paintings on a wall with appropriate color next to a sofa. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that before. There's apps and stuff out there that do that. I just haven't found the right one, and kind of photoshopping it is pretty difficult. Not difficult, it's difficult finding an image that is free to use that I can Photoshop. Um, but I can take a uh, I can take a photo right now of my whole wall with a ton of paintings on it over my couch, except my living room is a mess right now. I accidentally just refreshed the page. Oh, okay, cool. All the comments are still there. I thought they would be gone. Yeah, the beard's looking good. Yeah, actually, I need to trim it right now because it's just out of control, and it needs to be. I kind of look like a homeless person. No offense to like homeless people, but you know what I'm saying. I have that like ungroomed kind of look. I need a haircut today too. It's on my to-do list. My girlfriend's gonna cut my hair. Um, how's life? It's going well, man. It's going well. Just been, same old stuff. Posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook, painting, thinking about YouTube, thinking about videos, thinking about how I'm gonna make a living. You know what I mean? That's what's been occupying my time, is just how can I make a living? What can I do to make a living? And how can I give to people? What can I give that's useful to people? Um, you know what I mean? Um, as a service, so that I can be compensated for that service. Because it's not just about me. What beginner acrylic paint set would you recommend? Uh, red, yellow, blue, white, with like burnt sienna or burnt umber, some kind of brown maybe. Keep it simple, you know what I mean? Doesn't have to be complicated. It's a good idea so people see that your painting is suitable on their walls. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I definitely should be doing that, but I'll get there. It just takes time, you know. Right now, most of my paintings aren't even framed, so there's two behind me back here that are framed, but those are the only ones I have framed pretty much, because they were both in shows. We need more videos. I got a ton of videos, man. I got I think 600 videos, or almost 600, something like that. There's plenty of videos, but I know what you mean. Drawing videos would be great. Yep. For anybody that just came here, let's repeat. I got a whole stack right here of drawing paper, high quality, really good drawing paper that my girlfriend got from her grandmother. And it's a little thicker. It's kind of like cardstock, but not as thick. But it's pretty good, and it's loose. You know what I mean? So it could be a downfall. It's probably better to have it in a sketchbook. But what I can do is, once I get enough drawings stacked up, I can just clip them with a clip, and that way they won't smudge, because they'll be clipped. You want to do that with your sketchbooks too that you have. Get like one of those clips that you clip, and then like a binder clip, and then it folds back over, on itself, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. But I got some paper, running out of wall space, so looks like it's time to start drawing. Patience. So that's what I want to develop, is that patience, and putting in that effort to make it look nice. And I think I'm going to do charcoal, because I like charcoal, so I'm going to just experiment with that. So should be cool. Anyway, what's your name on Instagram? SchaeferArt. It's at SchaeferArt. Can you draw animals, please? Yeah. What kind of animals? I mean, I have a cat, so I kind of like using my own photo references and stuff, or drawing from life. Um, so like I could do a cat. I could do a lot of my cat. You can see my cat right there. And there's actually a painting right above her that I painted from life. She was sleeping on the couch, and I painted her while she was sleeping there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I could do a lot of a cat. Other than that, I mean, I could, yeah, I really like drawing from like life or photo references that I've taken. I don't really like taking stuff from online usually. It's just not my first choice, you know what I mean? But yeah, I could draw animals. I mean, I'm gonna experiment a lot when I start making videos again, and kind of figuring out what I want to do and how I want to do it. Been wanting to focus on drawing, but there are many distractions around me. Any tips? Yeah, the tip is F all distractions. Get what I'm saying? Screw all distractions. You gotta be stronger than your distractions. That's the tip. There's no like tip to, it's up to you. Really, that's what it comes down to. And that's kind of like my motto is like F all distractions. That's kind of the mind state you have to have. Otherwise, like you said, you won't be able to focus on what you want to do and what you need to do. I mean, it depends on the kind of distractions. If you have a kid running around, you kind of can't say F that distraction. You got to kind of, you know what I'm saying? But if there's a TV on and you get distracted, or you're distracted by watching, food videos on YouTube or something, or you're scrolling through Facebook, you gotta close those windows, man, and you gotta snap back to it and go, okay, what do I need to do? You need to make a to-do list every day. What do you want to accomplish today? What do you want to accomplish this week? What do you want to accomplish this month? And what do you want to accomplish this year? You should have all this written out. That's how you stay focused. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a plan. I mean, think of it this way. You look like PewDiePie if he's homeless. Oh man, that's a funny comment. I'm a homeless PewDiePie. Exactly. I have like 1% of the following PewDiePie does, and I have 1% of the views he has, and 1% of the money he has, that's for sure. Anyway, getting back to the focus thing. See that? Got to get back to it. Got to focus. Think of it this way. Think if you're sailing on a ship somewhere. I mean, think of the old days. Think of now. If you're going out sailing on a ship and you don't know your destination, where are you sailing to? And if you don't know, you have no idea where you're going. You have a whole crew of people and they don't know where the ship's going. So if they don't know where they're going, it's very unlikely that they're ever going to get to a place. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of saying that it's kind of a weird analogy or metaphor or whatever, but you have to have a plan. You got to know where you're going. You got to have a destination. You got to have a goal so that you know the steps to get to that goal. Just like a sailing ship, they got to have a destination so they know, okay, I'm going to take this route, stop here along the way, and then get back on the right path and go to my destination. Otherwise, if they're just sailing around aimlessly, they'll never get anywhere because they don't know where they're going. So I hope that helped you really think about, I mean, it's kind of maybe more than you wanted, but maybe it helps someone out there that, wow, I really need to make a plan for whatever you're doing. If it's drawing, painting, if you're a graphic designer, if you work at McDonald's and you're a cashier and you want to become a manager, I mean, you got to have goals. You got to know, like, okay, by the end of this year, this is what I want to be doing. I want to be a manager. I want to be assistant manager or whatever. Or I want to be one step closer to that at least. And kind of have a plan laid out. And you may not know all the steps to get there. But if you know the first few steps, do those steps. And then you may learn, okay, what comes next? What do I do next? You may have to think about it every day. So anyway. Cats or dogs or some wild animals. Okay. I can do that. Oh, I can do squirrels too. There's a squirrel right out in the tree all the time. I got some photos of the squirrel. That would be cool. What happened to your eye? Yeah, good question. I don't know, like 2 days ago, I kind of got this painful bump. I think it's just a sty. It's just really annoying. I know it's kind of a distraction to look at, but kind of a bad time to make a video, but I said, screw it, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it sucks. It should go away soon, but anyway, it's just an annoyance in life. Redwood works look great. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, check out my Instagram or something. That's probably where to see like all the recent paintings I've done. There's probably like 4 or 5 that I haven't posted just because I don't know. They're not like the best, but um, yeah. There's nothing good online, only mediocre photos with high contrast. Yeah, somewhat. It depends. Sometimes there's good photos and stuff, but I just like being in control and like I like using a photo that I know that no one else has used. You know what I mean? So if I take a photo of a squirrel or a photo of my cat, I know that it's mine. I know that nobody else is going to be using it unless they use it from my video or something. You know what I mean? So I just kind of like I like having control that way and like approaching things that way. I'm supposed to revise for my exam tomorrow, and I'm watching this distraction. Well, I'm not going to be on too much longer, so. Is it okay to listen to music while drawing? Yes. Yeah, why not? I listen to music while painting. I listen to music doing anything. Sometimes it can be distraction. Sometimes it's, if you're able to just sit in silence and draw, it can be cool because you can really get focused. Um, but yeah, listening to music, I mean, it's all a personal preference, personal choice. Sometimes I listen to hip hop. Sometimes I listen to classical, soft, relaxing piano music. And sometimes I listen to like, extreme heavy metal, you know, growling, screaming stuff. Um, I've painted to all that stuff, and it doesn't make a difference for me. Um, it just helps you get in the zone and kind of just um, be in the moment. You know what I mean? Think about it that way. Um, Schaefer life goals. Please make that a thing. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have a lot. I've always like read like it's corny to say it this way, but like self-help type of books and stuff. Um, it's kind of easy to get too caught up in like reading a lot of those books, but what you have to do is just like, get the main point from the book and understand like it's common sense. What's going to help you achieve your goals is working towards them every day. And you know what I mean? It's like this YouTube channel. Honestly, if you um, my channel, I started out just making videos in my basement every day. I would just put up videos every day on a crappy webcam laptop. I mean, if you go back to my very first videos, and I don't recommend that you do, but when you go back to my very, very first videos, they're horrible. I couldn't talk. I talked really slowly, and my thoughts were kind of disconnected. And now I can just rap like this. You know what I mean? It just flows out. I can just speak, and it's because I've just practiced. It's just practice, practice. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years now, and it's just practice. It takes time, and just like anything, and it's the same with your art. You just apply that to everything in your life. Apply it to your drawing, to your painting, to whatever you want to accomplish. After 5 years of doing it every day or every week or whatever, you're going to improve. You're going to get better. Um, so, but just like with this channel, I mean, I started out. I remember I was happy when I had 100 subscribers, and I was one of the first channels like on YouTube, or at least one of the few art channels that was like that monetized their channel, like with the YouTube thing. Before the YouTube networks were a thing, it was just you were actually underneath YouTube, and I was making AdSense, and I was so happy that when I first started that, I was making a penny a day, or sometimes 2 pennies, and I got so happy. Like after like 3 weeks, it went up to a nickel every day, and I was like, wow, I'm making these videos, they're helping people, and I'm being compensated for it. Like I was so happy to be making a nickel. It was crazy. I was like, dude. And I remember like my first paycheck that I got from YouTube for like the month, it was like $2.41. This was before they had like a threshold to where Now you have to make like a certain amount before they send you a check. But my first check was like $2.41, and I took a photo of it, and I was like, man, this is really cool. This is cool. I made $2 from just by making videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, um, and now I got 140,000 subscribers, and it's crazy. I mean, honestly, I'm not making a living from YouTube, but the money that I make now does help me. You know, I kind of try to save most of it, but it ends up going to my art supplies and stuff. I spend a lot on like frames and um, paint and canvas and all this stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, you guys watching and stuff and me helping, it helps. It helps me, make more videos and just keep this thing going. But but yeah, just like anything in life, it just takes time and practice to just build up to what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Anyway, that was a crazy long tangent that I don't know why I went off on that. Anyway. What would you consider a masterpiece? What does it take? I'm very new to paint. Maybe a dumb question. It's not a dumb question. It's an interesting question. What do you consider a masterpiece? I mean, I wouldn't even worry about that, honestly. Don't even get caught up in it. Just do your best with your paintings and just keep on improving, and don't worry about like masterpiece or this is good. Critique your paintings and go, okay, this painting is better than that one because, it just, the lighting's better, the value structure is better, the composition is better, whatever it is. But somebody may like the painting that you think is worse. That happens to me all the time. A painting that I don't think is that good, my girlfriend will be like, oh, wow, I really like that one. And I'll be like, really? But what about these 4 over here? She's like, yeah, those are okay. And I'm like, I don't know. These 4 are really good. These are like kind of the best ones. And this one kind of doesn't live up to these, I don't think. And then I go and post the one that I thought wasn't good online, and it gets more responses. Then, that's usually what always happens. Like, I'll post something online, and I'll be like, this is a really good painting. People are going to respond to this one like crazy. It's going to be cool. And I post it online, and then like I get a few comments or a few likes. And then the next time I post one that I'm like, it's an okay painting, but I'll post it. I post it and it gets a lot of responses. So, worrying about a masterpiece and all that, who cares, whatever. Anyway. Hey, Daniel, no problem. Hope it helps in some way, my advice. Got to get back to work. Yep. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks, man. You're cooler than PewDiePie, though. Really? I don't know. I appreciate it. I try to be. I'm just not as crazy as him, I guess. I need more, I gotta be more crazy so I can get more views. These are starting to hurt my ears. And I can't hear myself anyway, so I don't know. As long as you guys can still hear me, I can just keep the mic like this. My beard is kind of annoying. There we go. Whatever. Just reading some comments here from you guys. Are you playing Van Gogh or something and not selling anything? What do you mean by that? I'm not understanding. I mean, it might just be like a language barrier. I'm not fully understanding your question. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this year I haven't sold anything. I mean, I have a shop up on my website. I mean, some of it's kind of price expensive, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Just trying to make a living. But I have my smaller paintings There are some older paintings that I want to get rid of that I might do like an eBay auction and just put them up for cheaper than like I would sell them new. Just because I need to make more room. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not too worried about it right now. It's just I don't really like the business side of art. You know what I mean? It's not really my thing. Um, what do you consider a masterpiece or gallery quality? Thank you for your answer. I'm happy to see you back. Yeah, no problem. It's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back. Um, gets kind of lonely not talking to anybody, you know, even if it's just through a computer and stuff. But I don't really have any friends around here where I live. I moved here like 3.5 years ago, and you know, I just don't get out much. There's nothing, you know, I don't want to go to like a club or anything, you know, a bar, and just, you know, there's not really a big painting community from what I've seen around here, and it's just tough, man. You know, I don't have any friends really. I talk to my girlfriend and my cat. That's about it, you know. Just a lonely artist, man. Gallery quality. You know, it depends on what gallery you get into and what you want to paint, you know. There's a ton of like just crap artwork out there, like um, you know, it's bad for me to say that, but I mean it's true. Like um, there's stuff that's in galleries. It's just like I don't know how that's in there. You know what I mean? I don't know what people see in it or what they feel when they look at it, but for me, it doesn't really like evoke any emotions. But you know, it's all just who knows, man. It's a mystery. It's a crazy mystery. So just go to a local gallery and see what's in there and see if your paintings are up to that quality. You know what I mean? And what is it about those paintings that make them better than yours? You know, is it the values? Is it the color? Is it the realism? You know, I don't know. So the collaborations with the other fellows was something to look forward to and help show how people can have different perspective on the same scenery. Yeah, I agree. It honestly, it just got too taxing for me. Like every month. Hold on, I gotta plug in my computer because it's about to die. Sorry, folks. Okay, there we go. Back in business. So I'm just gonna keep the mic here. Screw it. Um, oh yeah, the collaborations. Yeah, those are cool. It just got too taxing on me to do it every month, and I was already making other videos too. You know, it just became overwhelming. You know, just had a lot going on, and it's hard for me to when it's not when I'm not when it's not my full-time job, my day job. It's hard for me to keep a schedule with something, and it just becomes overwhelming. I didn't have time for myself. I just need to figure out what I wanted to do with my art and stuff. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I needed more time. Just had to look at your site. How do you figure out the price of your paintings? Honestly, I started out doing like square inch and stuff like that. You know, my smaller paintings, I'm not sure, I can't remember. I mean, you can just divide it. The smaller paintings are 100. You know, 6x8s are 100. So that's 48 square inches. 100, what's that make it? 50 cents a square inch for the smaller paintings? Let me calculate it because um, I don't even remember how to calculate. Let me see. 100 divided by 48. Oh, it's $2. $2 square? Yeah, $2. That makes sense. Duh, I'm stupid. So it's like $2 a square inch, and then as it goes up, I kind of got lower than that. I think the 20 by 20s were, I think they're 650. So 20 times 20, 400. So 650 divided by 400. $1.60 a square inch. So like, I kind of just did it by, to be honest, I did it by feeling for the larger paintings. Because I factored in my time, and some of the paintings took a few hours. And look, this is what I'm going to make a blog post about this too, because I don't think people really understand what goes into a painting. They think I just painted this scene from my head or something, and it took me 2 or 3 hours, or 4 or 5 hours, whatever. I did it in one day, sometimes 2 days, and that's it. You frame it up, order a frame, and that's it. It's not really the case, okay? So the way I've been doing my paintings is I take a trip to a redwood forest, and the redwood forest, the closest one to me is about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away. So I take a trip there, and plus it's cool for me because I love going to the redwood forest. That's why I paint them, and just it's my little escape from life. I look up at my walls and I'm like, whew, it's my escape to nature, and I think that's what I want my paintings to give people, is like an escape. You know what I mean? And I love being in the forest. So anyway, so 3-hour drive there and back. So it's almost a whole day. I'm out there for a few hours, taking photos, taking videos, doing all kinds of stuff, enjoying myself as well, but taking photos, photo references. So already you have gas that I spent to drive there, time, 3 hours driving, plus the time I'm there. So 6 to 8 hours maybe. And then so already you have 8 hours into a painting, you know what I mean? Before I even started the painting. And that's not including, I usually take over 1,000 photos every trip, you know what I mean? And a lot of them are duds. They're all mostly duds, except for there's, usually like 20 good ones in there. 20 to 30, depending on, 10 to 30 if I'm lucky, depending on the time of day, or if it was sunny or if it was cloudy. Usually I like having sunlight in them with dappled light. Most people don't like the paintings where there's not a lot of light. So then I got to go through all those photos, got to edit them in Photoshop. And editing them, I mean, I don't edit them a lot, but I got to fix the values and the highlights and all this stuff. So that could take another 2 hours going through 1,000 photos on my computer. And then it's cropping it, figuring out the composition, all this stuff, doing a small study painting of it. Sometimes I do a small study like that if it's if I feel that it's going to be like a really difficult painting. If I want to work out some things, I'll do a small color study, and then I do another study, and then that's not even including like the cost for materials and paint, brushes, and then the time creating the painting. 4 to 5 hours, sometimes longer if I go back the next day or in a week or in a month and just touch it up a little bit here and there. So already, I mean, you got 12 hours or something in painting, and it's there's a lot more that goes into it, and then afterwards you gotta let it dry for, my paintings I use paint straight from the tube, so they dry pretty quickly. Within like 2 weeks, most of it's touch dry, and then I have to varnish it, and then let the varnish dry. So that's basically what goes into the painting, for the most part. Sometimes I do plein air. I go out and do plein air studies. Haven't done that in a while because it's been cold most of the time and can't be bothered with that. You know what I mean? But mostly it hasn't been sunny in the redwood forest. You know what I mean? In the winter, it's always cloudy and raining and stuff. So this summer and stuff, I'll probably do more plein air. But anyway, so factoring in all that, and then I had to buy the camera and the lenses and all the stuff, the filters, and the camera I use is an old camera, not old, but nowadays it's old. It's the Canon T5i. That's the camera I use. Pretty good. It gets the job done for me. You know what I mean? For what I want to use it for. So, hey, great to see you back. How do you find painting on the larger sizes compared to a small 5x7s? Also, I see you have the larger studio easel in the back. Yeah, I ended up picking that up from Michael's. Little cheap. I think it was like, I don't remember how much it was, 80 bucks, and then I got a coupon for it or something, or 140 bucks, and then I had a coupon. I don't remember. I got it for under 100 bucks, so it was pretty good. I really enjoy the larger paintings. It's way different than 5x7s or 6. I liked the 6x8s mostly, but some paintings just don't look good on a 6x8. But the larger paintings, I mean, it really taught me to use more paint, and it's something that I can start carrying over into my smaller paintings, because now I'm going to go back and start doing some smaller paintings, and I have something planned with that too. It might be cool, but doing the smaller paintings, they're going to be thicker paint, way thicker than I used to paint, and I find just using the thicker paint is cool, man. It's really cool. And just going to some gallery showings down, I took a trip down to Laguna at the beginning of January, visiting some family down there. And my family was actually visiting one family member down there, so I visited all of them while they were down there. They lived in Delaware, my mom and stuff. But they were down there, so I visited down there for a few days. And I got to check out the Laguna Art Museum and the Anna Hills exhibition, which was so epic. And I got to go to the Irvine Museum with I saw some Edgar Paynes, saw some more Anna Hills, a lot of other Southern California artists from back in the day, impressionistic. So inspiring, and seeing the amount of paint they use on their paintings, it was just really changed the way I paint, really inspired me. I guess my technique, you could say now, is really kind of like Edgar Payne, really big kind of brush strokes and stuff. It feels really cool. It's really nice, and it looks cool, And that's just the way I like to do it. But yeah, it's way different than the smaller paintings, but I'm glad I kind of ventured off and just did 20 large paintings, and I think it just taught me to approach things way differently. You know what I mean? Because now going back to the smaller paintings, it's going to be completely different. And yeah. Anyway, what state are you from? Well, I'm originally from Mississippi, southern Mississippi, right on the coast, the Gulf Coast, down in Biloxi. It's where I was born. And then I lost my house and everything when I was 15 in Hurricane Katrina. And then I moved to live with my mom because I had lived with my dad my whole life. And I moved to my mom's house in Delaware when I was 15 after Hurricane Katrina. And I lived there for about 9 years. And then after college, I moved out here to California. And here I am. That's my whole history right there. That's my life history summed up. Small paintings are hard to get all of the elements in there. Yeah, I mean, it can be. I have a few small paintings that I like, that I kind of have thicker brush strokes and stuff. And sometimes you don't have to worry about the details, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's just it's hard to get what you want in there without getting super. I don't like using the really small brushes and stuff. I like using like a number 6 and just laying it in, you know. I only paint for myself, but I just realized how much it takes to be an artist. The years of studying, the cost of the products is just crazy. Yeah, it is, you know, it is, and people don't understand that. People don't see that when you post a painting online on Facebook or something, um, and then you have people. I mean, you're opening yourself up for criticism, but this is kind of another take on it. When people like negatively comment on it or say, you know, I've had someone say, "Oh, you can do better. I've seen your work, and you can do better." And I was like, "What? This is a good painting. I don't know what you're talking about." But you know what I mean? But they're what they don't understand is all the time and effort and all the studying and everything you've put into that painting. You know, going out, taking the photos, or painting on location, and then coming back and painting and spending the hours. They're, you know, to me, they're criticizing that whole, you know, all the time I put into it. You know what I mean? So that's why sometimes criticism, you can't take things personally, and that can be that's a tough thing, but you can't take things personally. And yeah, I mean, artists put a lot of work in. You know, it's a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and people don't understand that when they just go and criticize something and say, "Oh, you can do better," or you know, "This isn't your best painting." And it's like not every painting is going to be my best one. You know what I mean? So anyway. Uh, Hey Daniel, thanks for stopping by. Would love to see a demo of you painting large with lots of paint. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm thinking about, but you know, I don't know if I want to, you know, I hate getting into this type of stuff, but I don't know if I want to give that away for free on my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? I might be saving that for something a little more special for, um, you know, the serious artists, because that's kind of my audience is kind of the serious artists or people that just want to get better with art. But you know, I also target the more serious artists like myself because that's what I am. You know what I mean? But anybody's welcome on my channel, though. I don't discriminate or anything like that. But yeah, the large doing a demo for large paintings. I've definitely been thinking about it, and this canvas may or may not be for that. That's all I'm gonna say. But I got some things planned this year. You know what I mean? I came up with a whole plan for this year, and it's not planned out to the T. You know what I mean? But I just have some things that I want to accomplish. Um, so we'll see if we'll see what I can do. Let's just say that. Why bother doing such small paintings? Those are good for study only, in my opinion. You know, it, small. It's relative term. You know what I mean? What's small to you may not be small to me. Um, check this out. Got a whole bunch of paint canvases here. These are small. I would call these small. I got them already all toned with the ivory black. I toned them with ivory black, so it's a gray. Got just over 30 of them here. And these, yeah, I mean, these could be for study. But the point about it is the everyday average folk that follow my work could probably afford to spend, you know, 90 bucks, $100 on a small painting like that. And that would support me. That would help me. And, you know, I want my small paintings to be just as good as my large paintings. So, you know, obviously they're different, but the small ones are kind of more affordable. You know what I mean? The larger paintings, you know, I'm not going to sell this backwards thing, this painting, which is one of my favorite paintings that I've done so far. This 20 by 20 that's framed, I'm not going to sell that painting for $100. You know what I mean? So somebody would really have to like my work or really like this painting to want to buy this one. So you kind of have to look at smaller paintings from all angles. It's not just about what I want to do or what, you know what I mean? I got to look at it from all business angles, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make a living from my art. I want to do this for the rest of my life and be able to support myself, my cat, and my girlfriend, and maybe a family one day. So I kind of have to just approach it from all angles and paint all sizes. See, this is a 6 by 8 underneath a 20 by 20. And to me, they're both great. These are some of my favorite paintings. It's hard for me to want to sell them because they're some of my favorite paintings. This one was one of my first plein air paintings in the redwood forest in oils. I think it was my first one in oils. So I mean, yeah, the smaller paintings. But I know what you're saying. You're probably thinking for videos on YouTube, but I got to make a living from that as well. And, you know, offering kind of a more premium videos for just a small price, nothing expensive. You know, putting up tutorial videos and videos of me painting larger and kind of going way more in depth and longer videos, you know, 3 to 4 hour long videos, going through a lot of different things for $20 or something that people can buy on Vimeo. I don't think that's unreasonable. You know, that's something I'm looking into doing because it would help support me a little bit more, and I'd be able to, you know, give back more to people and artists that really want that kind of info that they're not getting from my YouTube channel. Because I've learned a lot of things since I've been on YouTube in the last few months. I've learned a lot of how to, you know, how to varnish, how to frame paintings and what to do, and materials to use, how to paint, how to apply the paint, what's just all these different things, brushes to use, and a lot of different things that I can just talk about in videos. And not only that, I've learned a lot about light, and I've done just dappled light painting, so I've learned a lot about how to capture that light effect. Anyway. When I draw, I tend to hold the pencil at the top, but friends of mine say that if I hold it lower, it would be easier, but it feels off. Would like some opinions, please. Okay, let me find a pencil here, or a pen. Give me 1 second. Check it out, even got the colorful eraser on it. Look at that. So you're talking about you hold it more at the top like this? Like where it's like a looser type of sketchy kind of, you know, way? Is that what you're talking about? You hold it up here? Holding at the bottom would be down here. This is more just for details. You know, you're doing real small detail work like this. That's what that's for. When you're planning out your sketch and you're drawing, you know, kind of hold it lightly, hold it like this. You know, when you first start out, you can hold it way back here. Do what's comfortable. You know what I mean? You know, you can draw details like this if you want, and just be real more controlled with it. There's no right or wrong way to hold a freaking pencil, man. Hold it between your toes and draw with your feet. I don't care how you hold it. At the end of the day, what matters is how your drawing looks. That's what matters. right? At the end of the day, it's the final product. It's not the whole process. There's no right or wrong way to do anything, but there can be better ways to do things, and some things could work better for you than others. And sometimes those things might not work for me, they work better for you. So is it best to paint on toned canvas instead of white? I wouldn't say it's like better or best. Depends on the way you paint. I think it's easier. It can be easier for beginners and for myself. I still kind of see myself as a beginner, you know what I mean? I'm not like a master painter or anything. But painting on things that are toned like this, see, this one's kind of more of a warm tone, and this one is ivory black, so it's a gray. This one I find can be very helpful, painting on the gray, the ivory black. It's just a thin wash of ivory black. And this can be helpful because not only does it kill the white of the canvas, which helps you to see values better earlier in the painting process. It just helps you judge values better when it's toned. Sometimes I tone it warmer because if I'm going to have a lot of cools in the painting, like if I'm doing a scene that's mostly like greens and stuff, it'll be nice to have some of this warm kind of showing through and not kind of cover the entire canvas. So that can be, and sometimes I'll make them even more orangey and reddish kind of looking. This one's kind of more a grayish warm. But this gray is very helpful because not only does it help you judge the values better, it also helps you judge the color temperature a lot easier. Like, so if you're painting on a very bright orange, more red background, something like a cooler color is going to look way cooler than it actually is. And it's very hard to judge the temperature until you get the whole canvas covered. So, hope that helped. But yeah, painting on bright white, you can do that. It's no big deal. But it's just easier. Yeah. How do you make canvas? I see you got a big roll of canvas material. How do you store it? How do you storage your paint that are done? You know, I have the extra canvas, but I haven't like made any panels or anything yet. I'll make a video about that eventually if I ever do. Good to see you back. I usually don't text and just watch and study your techniques. I love how you paint loosely. I've tried to be loose, but just can't help doing details. I know how that is. How do you get around that? Well, first of all, I appreciate you commenting because you said you never do. And I really appreciate that, and I'm glad you like the way that I paint loosely and stuff. I don't usually get that comment, so I really appreciate that. It's good to know some people like my more loose paintings and stuff. How do you get around doing details? You have to really be focused on your intention. You have to set your intention before the painting. And you know, it would help if I had like an example of your work or something. You know, or kind of like the subject that you paint. Like if you're painting like people or figures and stuff, you know, it can be harder to get away from the details and stuff. But like painting trees and leaves and landscapes, I can help you get away from the details. It's more about how you approach the painting, and like you want to block in and only use like larger brushes. I'll show you real quick. This is kind of the largest size, or not large, excuse me. This is the size that I normally use for the majority of my paintings. Even for like the blocking in stage for the larger paintings, I've used this brush. This is a number, I think it's a number 6 or number 7. Number 6 or 7. I've used this brush on 6x6 panels exclusively, only. I can show you paintings where I've only used this brush. It would take me a second to show you a painting, but I do know a painting I have that I only used this brush, and it might surprise you. So if I can find that painting real quick, it was in 2016. But yeah, probably the brush size helps. And just kind of thinking about what you want, you know, here it is. Here's this painting. This painting right here, it's a 6x6. I used only this brush. So I used a number 6, and here just to get, so there's that painting. Let's get rid of that. That's one of my favorite paintings I've done. But just to get an idea, so it was this size painting, this size brush, a number 6. So, you know, I didn't get really small, you know, I didn't use this size brush, which is a number 4, which is a number 4. You can see the difference here. It's almost half the size. So I only use number 6 usually, and for my larger paintings, sometimes I'll use the smaller number 4, but I mostly use a number 6 or 7, and sometimes I use sometimes if I want to cover an area quickly, I'll use this larger brush. This is a number 12. So it's kind of like double the brush I just had. And this one's a number 8 that I use as well. This one comes in handy as well, number 8. So I'll use number 8, number 6. Rarely I'll use number 12. You know, so you kind of have to just find the right size brushes that you want to use. And you know, so anyway, kind of brushes play a part. You know, it's really hard how to paint more loosely. You know, it just takes time and practice, really. A cool exercise to do is to do a painting. This is a way to think about it as well. This is how I kind of thought about it in the beginning. Do a painting with the least amount of brush strokes as possible. Try to do a painting, you know, count every brush stroke that you do. Literally count it. And take the time and patience and count it whenever you put a brush stroke down. And try to do a painting in under 100 brush strokes or something, or under 50. Or just see how many it takes you to do it. How can I express this idea in the least amount of brush strokes? And it's not really the least amount of brush strokes. It's just don't do more than you need to. You know what I mean? Anyway. And it's also composition, so figuring out where should the most detail be. It's not bad to put detail in, because some of my paintings are kind of, there's more detail in other areas. Like some of the light on the trees, the tree will be have more detail than like the background where it's all just kind of foliage and leaves. I'll kind of just block that in with bigger strokes, and then the tree, like the shadows and stuff, I'll have like, you know, thinner brush strokes and smaller brush strokes. So it's a balance of all those things I just mentioned. Hope that helps. That was a long rant. Sorry for that. I go off on these tangents, but I hope they're helpful to the people out there. God, maybe my YouTube videos should just be live streams all the time and me just ranting about stupid stuff like that. Be a lot easier for me, but anyway. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. It's good to know. Looking forward to your next painting tutorial. I'm a fan of your painterly style from Yorkshire, UK. I appreciate it. I hope I answered your question. I like to save leftover paint and mix it up, freeze it, and then use that gray-brown as my stain. Yeah, that's a great idea. I used to do that. I didn't freeze the paint, but I would put it in a. I had a stay wet palette that I would, with the lid and the container, and I would put a cotton ball with clove oil, so the paint actually stayed wet. I didn't really freeze it or anything. But you probably wouldn't want to use it as a stain because it has clove oil in it on the paint. So, but I wouldn't put clove oil on the paint. I would soak a cotton ball. If it drops on the cotton ball, and the vapor of the clove oil would keep the paint wet for longer. I don't really do that anymore, but it is useful. Just reading the comments here, scrolling through. What are the best oils and acrylics out there? Yeah, I could just paint with my beard, huh? I really need to trim it. I'm going to do that today because I'm going to get a haircut today. I'm starting to look like somebody from the Beatles or something, McCartney or whatever, back in the day. Minus the beard, he didn't have a beard, but, he had this long hair like this. Best oils and acrylics up there. I think you mean out there, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all personal preference. I like golden acrylics. I use mostly Gamblin paint because I can get, check this out. I like Gamblin paint because I can get it in the cans like this in bulk. I don't buy a huge can, I just buy like 8-ounce cans. And then what I do is, but I buy white in the 16-ounce. What I'm going to do, and what I just did the other day, I tube it up myself. I buy empty paint tubes, transparent red earth, and I just have different sizes because I knew I didn't have enough to fill up another one of these, so I filled up a smaller one. And then I had a little bit left over, so I filled up an even smaller one. I can use this for like plein air, and this is more like for studio. So what I do is I bought different sizes of these empty tubes, these aluminum tubes, and then you open up the paint can, get a palette knife, just keep scooping it in there, and then just tap it on the table or on the ground so that the paint will go down to the bottom. Then when you're done, you just flatten it, fold it up, crimp it a little bit, at the bottom. Just kind of crimp it a little bit lightly because you don't want to bust a hole in it. But I have a whole box of tube stuff. So, yeah, I buy Gamblin, but there's a lot of good paint out there. I would just see what you like. Gamblin, I can use Gamblin straight from the tube, and I like the consistency. There's other paint that's like harder and thicker, and it wouldn't really work to use straight from the tube. And there's other paint out there that's really liquidy that I don't like the consistency of. So it's all personal preference. You just have to try different brands, and just make sure you're getting paint that has a lot of pigment in it. I get the artist ones, not the not the student ones. So anyway. Yeah, if you could show me show me your detail work, and then just send me an email. I'm cool with you sending me an email. Just go to my website and either use my contact form or just send me an email. That way you can attach images and stuff. I'd love to look at your work and just I can kind of direct you a little more precisely, I guess. Because then I'll be able to see what kind of detail you do, and then I can kind of show you like, well, maybe you could, do this or do that, whatever. But anyway, how often do you paint straight from the tube? Always? And do you use a medium? Because I also use Gamblin and do straight from the tube sometimes, or with the little walnut oil. I have found that I don't use medium. It's just to me, it's just a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Because why use medium? I mean, I get the point. I mean, I'm not saying medium's a bad thing or that it's useless, but for me, it's another pain like in the process that I don't want to deal with. And for me, I just use paint straight from the tube. And I've gotten to the point where I used to thin down the paint for a block in. I used to thin it down, and now I only thin down for the initial sketch. I don't thin it down for the block in. But I don't use a ton of paint in the beginning stages. I wait to use a lot of paint once I have the canvas covered and I kind of know where I'm going. Then I'll start using a lot more paint and thicker paint. But I'll go more in depth on that in future videos that I'm gonna make. Ha 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 ha. I'm a sellout. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, using paint straight from the tube, kind of. And I found this transparent red earth. I really love the consistency of this. I don't know if you've ever used the Gamblin transparent red earth. It's kind of like transparent red iron oxide in the other brands, but the consistency of this is like it's kind of liquidy, but it's nice, man. It's just smooth. I really love it. I really love I love all the Gamblin colors now that I think about it that I use. But yeah, there's a lot of good paint out there. I mean, I used Blue Ridge oils, and his are really high quality paints, and they're decently priced. Blue Ridge oils, look those up. They're handmade by an artist. But last year he actually had a fire in his place from making paint, and he kind of had to start over. And I think he's just now getting back into making a bunch of different colors. But I might buy a few tubes of his paint every once in a while because I really like his. Is really smooth too. A lot of pigment in his paint. I think I personally feel it's a higher quality than Gamblin, but you can't really buy his paint in bulk like you can with Gamblin. So I try to save some money on paint and buy it in bulk when I can. So. Why did you change from acrylic to oil? What is more toxic to work with? I don't know which one's more toxic to work with. It depends on what materials you're actually using. Like oils can be toxic if you're using a lot of solvent, and depending on what solvent you use and all this stuff, and who knows. But acrylics, I don't really know the toxicity about all that, and I know there's chemicals in that paint. It's not just oil and pigment. There's like other chemicals and stuff in it. I don't really know. I really liked acrylics, and I was getting good with acrylics, but they just limited the way that I wanted to do my paintings. All the artists that I looked up to, Richard Schmidt, Edgar Payne, John Carlson, all the painters that I liked, painted wet into wet, alla prima. which means wet on wet. And they painted it all together in one session. And with acrylics, it's really, you can't do that with acrylics, really. So I tried oils and never looked back. Acrylics just don't do it for me anymore. I find them really like sticky and, excuse me, you don't get a lot of, the paint doesn't spread very far, you know. It's just a different feeling. But so yeah, people on my channel, I have like a mixture of people using acrylic and oil, and you know, I'm not saying acrylic's bad or don't use acrylic, or you know, I think acrylic's fine, but just for the way that I paint, oil works better for me, personally. But you know, my videos are very conceptual, I think. Um, it's really, most of the time it's more about the painting concepts and learning these concepts and then applying it to whatever you do. I mean, that's what a lot of the artists, beginners and stuff don't understand is like reading. I mean, when you look at Edgar Payne's book, Outdoor Composition of Painting, I have this small little book and it's a thick book and there's hardly any pictures in it. And you know, it's all about the mindset that you have and the concepts that you use in your painting. You know, technique is a small part of it, but concepts are a huge part of it. So anyway, that's my thought on it. So, well, guys, anyway, I think a lot of people are dropping off here, and if nobody has any more questions or anything, I'm gonna head off. I need to eat breakfast. It's 2:20 in the afternoon here, and I have not eaten anything. I have an interesting diet schedule now that I started. I do intermittent fasting. Um, I only eat from between noon and 8 o'clock at night. And the rest of the time I fast. I fast from 8 in the morning until noon. So I have a 16-hour fasting period and then an 8-hour eating period. And it works for me, man. I feel great. I don't get headaches anymore. It's just my digestion's way better. Everything is so much better. And it's unreal. I lost a few pounds actually, which I didn't really need to, but you know, really slimmed me up and toned me. I'm really toned and everything. And just eating the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, man, I feel great. Anyway, random information there for you. So anyway, stay tuned. Stay tuned. I got things planned. I got videos coming. I don't know when. I don't know how. Well, I kind of know how, but I don't know when. But I just wanted to check in with you guys and say, hey, man, videos will be coming eventually. Maybe in the next month. Maybe before that. You know, I got some interesting ideas. I just got to get the execution down. So it's been nice chatting with you guys as always. And the kid is back. I am resurrected. I want to smash this YouTube art community. You know what I mean? I want to be the king of it. Not really. A little bit, but not really. I think we can all work in harmony. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for always joining me and always supporting me and tuning in. And I'm always going to do what I can to help you guys out with your art and take it to the next level. And you know, hopefully I can start helping more on a business level. You know what I mean? Because that's a whole other monster to conquer, and it's something that I'm still working on conquering. But anyway, let me get something to eat. So thank you guys. Take care of yourself, and Stay tuned for more, man. More things coming. Hopefully epic. Anyway, peace, guys. Peace and love. Peace and love. Later.